Okay, welcome to this short video. I want to try to help with that feeling of being confused and in pain and stuck because things don't quite make sense and it feels like they should make sense, but they don't. And that's not your fault. Everybody has that. It's just the way things work because we all start as babies and babies don't have any idea what's going on. And babies learn randomly, piece by piece. And as those pieces are learned, they tend not they tend to work for one idea, but two or three ideas don't work together. For example, as a baby, you might learn that bad people need to be punished, and hitting is bad. And so if you hit, you need to be punished. But you might also learn separately that like disrespect is bad, and the appropriate punishment for disrespect is hitting. And so now you have these two different ideas where it's okay, if someone disrespects me, I should hit them. Oh, but hitting is bad, which means I'm bad and I need to be punished. So I need to be punished for doing the thing that I was supposed to do. Okay, and then we're full of stuff like that because we learned them piecemeal, piece by piece. And it's water, the baby is water, freezing into an ice block, but the freezing starts at different points randomly, just as you lock onto an idea. So as the crystals form, they butt up against each other. One little area of crystal is consistent, but then the other area is misaligned, and so they find these fault lines where they don't align with each other. And the thing about a crystal is if it's one single crystal, when you tap it, it'll ring with a note. The energy will flow through it very cleanly and it'll be very pleasant. Just like you, if all your thoughts work together, then thinking feels good. But if you're a mishmash of different crystals in different alignment, different thoughts that contradict each other, then flicking that crystal is a thunk. It's not a ring, it's a thunk. And a thunk hurts. And thinking and living and feeling energetically hurts a lot if you're full of contradictions. What you need to do is probably several times go through this process of fixing the inconsistencies left over from just being a baby and kind of learning randomly. But to do that, you can't just, go in and fix things. You have to go through a first stage of unfreezing. You got to melt this crystal back into a liquid state so that it's free to reform a single crystal that's all coherent. You have to change state. You can't just carve the ice into a new shape. Unfortunately, a lot of us have a belief early on from our caregivers that is dangerous, that unfreezing, changing into a state that's more chaotic and open to forming a new structure is itself dangerous, maybe even bad. That's, if someone tells you to do that, might be, that's how the liberals get you, or that's how the devil gets you, or something like that. That's bad. It's dangerous. At least it's dangerous. So don't do it. And this is why a lot of people stay stuck with thinking that hurts and doesn't work for them, because they're one of the things they believe is they should not unfreeze and fix their thinking and then refreeze into a more coherent state. They just believe that life is painful and confusing. And if these are people that we care about, like they take care of us, they love us, we love them and respect them, then it's extra hard. It's like the people I love and respect believe that life is just painful and confusing. It's just the way it is. I'm not sure I believe that. I think that I see other people living life. It doesn't seem painful and confusing. I'd like some of that. But to get there, I think I need to go through this period of chaotic liquid state, which everyone's telling me is dangerous and confusing and strange. So I don't want to do that. And so that's a contradiction right there. See, we're frozen in a state that contradicts itself, where the contradiction is, well, I need to grow and do better, so I have more to offer, but I can't do the thing that would have me grow and do better because that thing is dangerous. That's a contradiction. And when you're in the state of a contradiction, it hurts and it sucks. And the only way to have it not hurt is to go through the period of unfreezing so you can refreeze into a more coherent state, even though you currently believe you shouldn't do that. You have one belief in there. This is a challenge. This is a universal challenge for everybody. It's not your fault. Everybody has to go through this. And hopefully this model is giving you like an overview of the whole project so that when you're justifying it or in the middle of it or reflecting on it, it's okay, this is why I had to do it this way. And another aspect to it is that the people that we love and respect frequently aren't doing this, even though they should. And they not only are they going to be worried about you, like they believe this is dangerous or wrong, so they're going to try to protect you from it. That's a crab in the bucket mentality. But it also means that if you go ahead and do it, then when they think about you, their thinking is going to hurt, because their thinking hurts because they have contradictions. They're straight up going to feel even more pain when they think about you because you changed. Maybe they don't quite recognize you now because you changed your thinking. You evolved a little bit. You understand things with more complexity. You can do more. And it's good to be able to do more, but you're doing some things that they don't recognize. Like you have some different interpretations of these beliefs, or maybe you let go of a couple of them, or you have some new ones. And that hurts them because every time you create a contradiction in their thinking, it hurts. And they have a lot of contradictions. But that's not your fault. That's their fault. That's their fault. Like they're responsible for their own thinking and their own evolution. And if they insist on staying in a state where they have lots of contradictions and things, and it hurts to think, then it's going to hurt to think even about you. And they're not going to understand that because they haven't fixed their thinking. So you're going to understand it better than they do. And you'll still love and respect them, but it might create some real distance because they might genuinely hurt when they think about you and what you're doing and in your new state and so on. And that's not your fault. You're not hurting them. They are hurting themselves because their thinking contradicts itself. And they need to do something about that. And they may never do something about that. They may stay in that state forever. The thing about a crystal is it tends to just stay the way it is. You cannot unfreeze them. They're going to hate you for that. That is super dangerous, and it's a violation. That thing in V for Vendetta, when V just like completely tortures and brutalizes a young girl to break her down and then rebuild her into a better image. And she seems pretty appreciative of it, but you got to really torture somebody, like in the military or like actual torture, to make that happen. So you're probably not going to want to do that. This is, again, it's not your fault. Everybody has to go through this. Hopefully this overview explains the project. You might have to do it many times in your life, sometimes big times, sometimes small times. And it will create distance with people that you love and respect. And that's not your fault. And that's not a reason to not do it, because you will have more to offer the people that you love if thinking doesn't hurt you. If you can flow more energy, if you can just do more with less pain, you'll have more to offer. That's what you're responsible for. It does take some courage. It does take fighting against some beliefs that are currently crystallized that would tell you not to do this. You got to go do it anyways. And you might not get any support, even from people you love and respect. Even people, because they're contradictory. Half of their thinking might support you, half of it might say don't do it. And that's the problem you're trying to get out of. You're trying to get to one coherent way of thinking. You have to go through this process of unfreezing so you can refreeze into one consistent way of thinking. Hopefully this makes sense and gives you an overview of why this isn't your fault. Everybody has to do it. It's the same for everyone. And I encourage you to do it, get started. If you're doing it right now, you have my blessings. It can be tough, but we got to do it. Best of luck, and I'll talk to you again soon.